The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. I'm Nikki Glaser. Welcome to a very special episode of the Nikki Glaser Podcast. This is an all Fanthrax episode.
And if you don't know what Fanthrax is...
And Andrew's here.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate.
You're probably wondering what I'm doing here so early.
Hey,
they probably thought like
Andrew.
I was... We were like going to talk about like my butthole dying or something sad.
Yeah, like it's your final day on the show.
You know, it was a great run. Thank you so much for...
No, you're just here. We're doing a special episode all because we have just so many messages and letters and things from our fans that we just can't get to them once a week in our usually weekly segment. So we're doing them all today, as many as we can get through in a shorter version of the podcast. But listen, we give you 4 days a week, so don't be sad that it's shorter.
Yeah, back off.
Listen to it on slow speed and it'll be as long as the other ones.
Or just my regular speed.
Andrew, what's that shirt you're wearing underneath? I like the pink font.
Oh, Mom's... it's the deli here in St. Louis.
Oh, cool.
It's called Mom's Deli. It was established in 1977.
Yeah.
You never had a sandwich? Your dad knew what it was.
Yeah, I don't like sandwiches that much.
But back in the day.
Back in the day, I think I just went to Quiznos, you know?
Quiznos.
Is there anything on the back of the shirt?
Yeah.
Is it the same?
More Mom's Deli, yeah. But
color?
I love the pink off the black.
Pink and
Fair.
black. I mean, who doesn't love it? Okay, so let's just get to it. Tell our fans what Fanthrax is.
So Fanthrax is videos, letters, emails, sending a crow to drop a tampon for Nikki.
Handwritten letters.
Handwritten letters.
That are given to us during meet and greets.
It could be anything.
Anything from our fans. We want to hear from you. We love hearing from you. And we're going to comment on what you say to us. So Noah, kick us off.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
You just scared Luigi.
Well, he should be scared because it's fucking Fanthrax.
All right, let's get into it. First up.
We
First
should go
up-
to a Megadeth concert.
First up is Brianna.
Hey, Nikki, Andrew, and Noah. My name is Brianna. Nikki, you've asked your listeners if they enjoy the Fanthrax segment as much as you do, and I just wanted to let you know the answer is yes, absolutely.
Yes.
There's something to be said about people just calling in and letting you know how loved you are. It warms me up inside for some reason, but I just thought I need to let you know personally that you are so cool and I look up to you so much. My best friend and I have been listening to you since day one and we unpack nearly every episode together. We don't always agree with you, Nick, but we love you anyways. And we cannot wait to see you in LA in November. Don't be cold. Love you. Bye.
Oh my God. Like a true friend, you don't always agree with me.
Yes.
I don't like, part of that made me go, oh, they sometimes get together and go, God, she's so wrong and stupid. But the thing is, I say that about my best friends too sometimes. Listen, it happens. I love that. Brianna, the fact that you look up to me makes me think you're younger than me.
Or shorter.
That's true too. Maybe shorter, maybe both.
Yeah.
And thank you. That means so much to me. I'm always like, how do people even discover me? And then how do they, and I love that. I love listening to something that my friends and I can unpack. I mean, that's why I get involved in The Bachelor, Bachelorette, all those things. It's just so fun. And for me to put out something, for us to put out something into the world that people get together and talk about, it's so fucking cool.
It is cool. It is weird sometimes to think like, I try not to think like that because sometimes I guess it could affect what you say or how you act. It doesn't for me because I can't act smart, but
I always have in the back of my mind that, I always try to consider someone going, that was really lame what you just said. Because it's usually me thinking that. But, I mean, I try to think of Brianna and her friend. Now, I picture them for some reason in Koreatown, because that's where I lived when I was in my early 20s. And I picture them walking around, even though it's not that safe to walk in Koreatown sometimes. I guess at night, I don't go discuss my podcast walking around at night, but I picture them getting together. I picture them at Starbucks. That's the only place that I ever sit down and talk to people.
Go for a walk. You know?
Yeah.
I wonder what they say. Like, I wonder how much you could really dissect. I guess
a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't listen to the first part probably of the show.
Yeah.
I get into a lot of weird places, and I'm sure. I mean, I could listen back on those and disagree with myself. Like, that's the thing. I always say I have more in common with people who disagree with me and don't like me than those who do. But not anymore. I have better self-esteem, and I can accept that that I sometimes am wrong.
it is interesting. Whatever you talk about at the beginning, I come on without consent. Like, you could literally like
It's not the right word.
Word?
Without consent.
Like, I don't consent completely. 'Cause I don't know what you said.
Well, okay, that's different than saying you come on without you come on seemingly as like your attendance
Oblivious?
to the show would mean that you are in line with all of my
Yes,
views too.
exactly.
You should have a disclaimer that says I do not any of the views expressed during the first 15 minutes of this show or 20 minutes sometimes, especially if it's 20 minutes or 25 minutes.
I know. I have it's funny. I get a vibe. I can feel it from my room. There's an energy. There's a long, like, when Noah writes 5 minutes and then writes, 5 minutes from now. 4 minutes. No, okay, it's going to be probably 3 more minutes. I go, oh, boy.
Noah can really sense.
Boy.
But sometimes that means it's good.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that is
Sometimes
true.
I really find my flow towards the end. I mean, my biggest fear is everyone goes, oh my God, I skipped the first part. So don't write in and tell us if you
like
do
a
that.
Mark Maron
Yeah, like
situation.
everyone used to say, there should be an app that just skips the first part. But I always liked the first part of Mark Maron's show more than the interview.
Yeah.
I like hearing where because you go to weird places when you are alone. It's almost like the same as like the thing in jail where they put you alone with yourself. Solitary confinement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of start tripping out, dude.
You talk to Noah like she's like the wall.
Yeah.
Like a god. like
a poster on my wall. Like
Yeah.
in Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, where you're cutting a hole in the back where you stopped after 4 inches because you're
Yeah.
like, my hand hurts. If I had to escape
My
from
fingernails-
jail, it would be the funniest
God.
thing. I'd get shot before I even
I
got
wouldn't
out
even
of
consider
bed.
it. I would just I would feel so guilty being in jail. I feel like I belong there. I wouldn't be one of those people that's like, I need to get out. Unless I was really innocent, I would try to do it the legal way, which is like, appeal to Kim Kardashian.
Or be white, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, breaking out
The
illegally.
idea of like trying to swim through Alcatraz, like we gotta swim this way because
Barbed
the
wire.
sharks are sleeping at night, and we gotta get
People
a
are
ladder.
so much braver than I could ever be. It's ridiculous. Let's go to the next Fanthrax.
Thanks,
All
Brianna.
right. I just want to say, Andrew, the countdown that I send you is for like efficiency, not for anything else. It's just so that you don't start doing something else.
Yeah, no, I love the countdown.
In other words,
Okay.
pooping.
Yeah.
It
Or,
is
like,
funny
hurry
though.
up.
I get the countdown. I go minute left, and I was pooping, and then she goes, "No, she's ready now." And I was like, "Fuck! I thought I had a minute."
I can't believe how long it takes you to poop.
It's in and out, boy. Probably too quick, and that's probably why I go multiple times. I don't get it all out.
Right.
Maybe I have fear of my butt hurting, so I cut her off.
Oh, don't call her.
Who?
She's a girl.
My little girl lady,
Little
my little
poopies?
lady butthole pussy.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry to whoever is up next on our Fanthrax for that intro.
Well, yeah, it happens to be anonymous, but
Oh, I know him.
a reference to an old story.
I literally used to think that any quote that was by Anon,
Oh my gosh, shut up!
I thought it was a Greek poet named Anon. You know, some
I thought it was the guy from Serial.
Adnan. Okay, let's hear from Anon.
Hey, Nikki, Andrew, and Noah. I have an anesthesia story.
Anesthesia.
Two different experiences where my husband, one time when he woke up from getting an endoscopy, he was really agitated and he kept calling the nurses bitches. And he was just in like a curtained off room where there were like 7 other patients in there and all the nurses were walking around. So I know that they heard him, but I think he was angry because they had a hard time getting his IV in before surgery. So he kept telling me after he came out that the bitches had to poke him several times to get his IV in. So that was highly embarrassing. And then one other time he had to get surgery on his ACL. He had to get his ACL replaced. And when he was waking up, he said that he was having phantom pains And, phantom pains are the pains that an amputee feels, where they can still feel like they feel the limb that got amputated. And he said he could feel phantom pains, which was ridiculous because he didn't get his leg amputated. He just had knee surgery. So I told him he was a dumbass. He didn't get his leg
And then he called you a bitch.
It was still there. So those are just a couple funny stories.
Maybe you meant Phantom of the Opera, maybe?
Love you. Thank you for those, Anonymous. You didn't know what phantom pain was? Phantom limb?
When she started describing it, I've heard of it before.
Boy.
I mean, that's wild.
It's so wild to feel like, a lot of times they feel like their hand is being put in like a meat grinder, and there's no hand there.
It's
and
just
they
the nerves?
It's just,
and
the brain nerves shooting off like you still have an arm. Fuck. And you know how they eliminate it sometimes is they give you, there's some kind of system developed where there's a mirror where they have you look into something that you can see a hand by moving your left hand. It looks like your right hand. So suddenly you can feel your hand and see that it's not being put in a meat grinder. And so you can visualize what your right hand would look like if it were there. And then your brain can go, okay, let go of the pain.
Whoa.
It's so fucked. But maybe
I'll do it with my foreskin.
Do you think calling a bitch...
Yeah.
That'd be so funny if you had a phantom foreskin.
Sorry.
That's so funny that you're talking about that because me and all my friends are on a group chat talking about whether or not my friend's baby should be circumcised. And we're all like either pro or anti, and we're all talking about like why, and it's just a big...
Well, phantom foreskin pain's a real thing.
Really?
So maybe you should throw that in the mix.
No.
Doctor had to hold my little dick up to a mirror, a little makeup mirror.
Yeah, to make you feel like you had it. And like, do you ever have phantom emotional pain from kids laughing and pointing at your anteater dick?
Especially when,
ACLs though, you get a cadaver ACL.
That's the other thing. Kids will
kids
will make fun. That's the thing. That's a true thing though. Kids.
I know, but that's cultural.
No, kids make fun of your anteater dick.
They're gonna make fun of your dick no matter what. If it's not,
it sticks out. I'm telling you, I grew up making fun of them.
I'm telling you, if I told my friend, I'm for whatever she wants to do. No, I'm actually like I'm either. But what I think is that if you raise someone to be with enough self-esteem, which I think my friend will, they'll be able to tolerate the bullying and be able to deal with it more than parents who back in the 80s, whenever we have these stories of my friend was tortured for his penis 90s, there wasn't like this open discourse of like loving yourself. And I think that now kids are growing up liking themselves more and being okay with being different. And I think that my friend can make her son so he's not someone who's deeply insecure about that. But I also whatever she wants to do.
Look, if you're a kid with foreskin out there, write into us and let us know.
I would love to hear from people with foreskin and like how horrible it's been, or women who have seen it and they're like, I would never date someone that had.
I think we talked about this before on the pod, and people are very.
It's
like it's like a really I never realized how polarizing it was. It's like a crazy thing.
It is.
People you don't understand with infections, and then the other side. It's literally
I think the
like
infection thing is an excuse that men do. It's like saying a deviated septum for a nose job. You just want a nose job.
I had a friend in his like mid-30s. He had to get a circumcision because of infection. So it is real.
Touche. And she divided his balls.
Why do we have it?
No,
then?
I did not.
Why do they have this foreskin? Why does a foreskin exist?
But
biologically, what purpose does it serve?
Why is there a gallbladder
tonsils?
Or not a pancreas?
You tell me.
Appendicitis.
Why are there tonsils? I don't know. Is it a thing that
eventually they're not needed? We grew out of it.
But what did we need a foreskin for?
To protect our dicks from infection, I guess.
But why are they
doing
dogs
back in the day? As cave people, like before clothes, that was a way of
spiders and stuff could
protecting
get in.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, protection.
But that's also so. Why don't I take off my clitoral hood? Why are women's pussies not being so infected because they lift up you just wash enough so that you get in there, just like
sensitive.
Just wash more. Because my
but that's
clitoral
why
hood
vaginas
is my
get more disease.
foreskin.
Vaginas get more yeast infections and stuff like that than penises.
Right. So I guess we should just start clipping off clitoral hoods.
just keep the clit.
But I would just say
there.
that if my clitoral hood didn't exist, it would decrease my sensitivity because I would always be having something pushing on my clit.
Right.
No, that's another argument. People have that. Guys say that when they're not.
So
Or you get it
but
pierced.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know fucking anything.
But back to your husband calling the girls bitches. It is.
Wait, Noah. I wanted to hear Noah's last
sorry.
thought on
Go.
foreskin.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say that some women
I cut
get
you off.
their clits pierced because they want that constant.
Yeah.
That would seem like a lot. Is it their clit pierced or their clit hood pierced?
The hood.
Get
The hood. I'm
hood,
sorry.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I would get mine pierced. I think that's kind of cool. I thought it was actually the clit, and you're right. It is the clitoral hood that women are getting pierced. It's a misnomer to say clit pierced, but it's the hood because it's getting your clit pierced would be so fucking excruciating.
Why did that hurt my clit? I don't even have one.
You do. It's your penis.
Yeah, I guess it did. If I felt it in the top of my cock.
But if your penis could be larger because it had a foreskin, would you kind of want it?
No,
No?
unless it was like considerably larger. But I think just looking at it where it would look like it'd have more length because it's like the tip of a high heel.
Yeah.
I don't think it would.
It wouldn't matter to you.
because it's like fake to me
Got
because
it.
it's coming back.
Got it. It's like wearing Timberlands.
Why? Where it gives you more height?
Yeah.
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 It's
It's
not
an
real.
illusion.
It's an illusion.
Yeah. But also penis pumps are illusions too.
Hey, that was only 4 times.
All right.
But back to being called bitches.
Oh yeah. Do you think
But
that
here's the thing. I have a question.
he has anger issues?
That's my question. Is we get mad at people when they're hammered, when they say things. When you're drunk, you tell the truth. When you come
No, you
out
don't.
of colonoscopy, no. But that's my question. I'm not saying that you do.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm
that when
saying
you're
people
drunk you
say
tell
that.
the truth. I think that it can obviously lessen your the voice in your head that says don't say this, but I think I've done things when I'm drunk and said things that absolutely were not true, and I did not believe them, and I treated people in ways that were, maybe anger from something else makes its way, and then I shoot anger at someone that does not deserve it, but that's not what I want to be. That's not a representation of how I really feel about that person. It's like, so I think that
The endoscopy,
he might have some anger, and he might really be wanting to call women bitches in some part of his life, which, let me just say, everyone does.
Yeah.
He's not alone. It doesn't make your anonymous husband a bad person. There are things I think we all think and want to say sometimes that we can't.
How do you feel about parents filming their kids after getting wisdom teeth out and they like
Funny.
But what about if you're that kid? And I'm sure most people will laugh about
the
it.
kid needs to consent to it. And I know you're like, well, how would a kid know what he wants out there? If it's cute and harmless, like, who cares? Like, I don't know. There's cameras following me around for something right now, and some people are like, what if I have kids someday and they catch me like saying this dirty thing or something? Like, what if somehow?
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it'll be okay. Like, you didn't murder anyone on camera. Like, you saying that you maybe, tasted cum before isn't gonna make your kid go jump off a bridge or like.
Yes.
It'll be okay.
For every person that's like, why would you let your kid not say homophobic stuff or racist stuff, but like they say like pretty fucked up stuff when they come out,
I wouldn't put my kids saying racial slurs.
No, but my point being is like,
hope they wouldn't.
Parents will go. Some people will go, how could you do that to your kid? And it's like, I saw this other video on TikTok of a kid who a dad put his kid on like a 4-wheeler when he was like maybe 6, and the kid fucking ate shit off this 4-wheeler.
Right.
And it's polarizing. Half the people are like, he's going to toughen up and be the best 4-wheel rider ever by the age of 9. And then the other people are like, how could you be so irresponsible?
People are projecting all over the place. Just mind your own. Like, that kid if that's what's happening on camera to that kid, you can only imagine the trust. Like,
yeah, he's probably on a unicycle off camera.
I don't know. People get so upset about stuff that isn't any of their business. But I guess I do too. I'm always just like, why do you have a fucking designer dog, you piece of shit? Like, and then I go, wait, why am I mad at this animal? Like, I don't like designer dogs.
Yeah.
I like actively don't like those dogs, but at the same time, I won't kill an ant. And I'm like, why do I hate these designer dogs? And like, literally don't like the dog. It's like, I'll have
you don't like the dog.
But I don't. But that's not true.
No,
like,
no,
of
but-
course, I love all animals. If I saw the dog at a shelter, I'd be like, oh. But the fact that what happened to get that for that dog to exist is such a disgusting thing, I think, and like just so stupid and empty and dumb and wasteful of other animals that need homes, that I just hate that dog. And it's not about that dog. It's about...
What if you looked at it, though, like, I mean, obviously, you could get the love you get from a mutt that you get from a purebred animal. But what if someone argues, like, this was my dream dog growing up?
Shut up. Shut up. But I wanted this dog because I like the way they look, and it was my dream dog. You don't get everything you want in life. If you having your dream dog leads to you not getting a dog at a rescue that's going to be euthanized, and I know you're like, but that dog could have developmental issues, then give it back, okay? Just try to do something that you don't get to do everything you want. And I know I'm going to get a lot of enemies from this. If you have a designer dog, I'm still be your friend. I get it. They are fucking cute as fuck. I don't think they're that cute. But I know some people just really like the look of a dog that has like a gray smushy face where they can't breathe.
Yeah.
And like gray eyes that look through your soul.
Are you describing me?
Yeah. Old gray eye lisp. I just lost so many. We're going to get so many thumbs down on this YouTube video. But I just don't know what to say. There are a lot of things I do that are supporting bad businesses too. So I'm a hypocrite for sure.
I honestly think we could do these Fanthrax, me and you,
forever
for probably 12 hours, and I swear to God, I think we could literally do we should
do
marathon. A marathon. One, maybe not today.
Noah's like, I got stuff to do.
It's like you and Nikki just want to hear yourself talk.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break and get to more, but not too much more. All right, we're back. Let's get to more Fanthrax.
Okay, this one comes from Kiera.
Hi, Nikki, Noah, and Andrew. I hope you guys are having all the swells. I love the pod. Listen all the time since the very beginning. Hope you're having a great week so far. I'm just calling to say I suffer from panic attacks, and whenever I get them, my teeth like chatter really fast, almost like I was shivering, but I'm not cold. My teeth just chatter. I don't know why they do that. But I was having one last week, and my teeth were chattering really badly. And I remembered how you say your skeleton is always laughing. And I just pictured that, like, when my teeth were chattering so fast, it looked like my skeleton was laughing at, like, a really funny joke. And it, like, helped me calm down. So I don't know if anybody else suffers from that. But that, like, it actually helped me so much when I was having a panic attack. So maybe it can help someone else. Thank you guys for being such a light. You're not coming to my city on this tour, but I know that I'll be able to see you in person one day, so I can't wait. Love you. Thank you.
Love you. Kiera. Oh my God, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Do you relate to that when you have
dude.
panic attacks, having something take you out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that would take me out of it. I was thinking about it. I was like, that's amazing, but then I would maybe think skeleton, think death, think, my bones are inside my body. It could lead me down
Kiera, don't do
but
this.
don't listen.
Don't listen to that. Just stick with it being funny. And
Kiera's at home going, like it's worse. Like, but yeah, I picture her teeth wound up on the table. Those little
with the little feet.
But yeah, no, I relate to that so much.
What has taken you out of it? Me going, calm down.
Yeah.
Why are you gulping? Why are you clearing your throat?
Yeah, that really
doesn't that help?
I think that's what led to it. But
I just really don't understand panic attacks. I want to understand them because they have symptoms where you don't even know the
But if you're picking at your leg, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're picking at your nails, you said sometimes you'll like look in the. I remember you told me one time you have episodes when you're alone where you. I mean, that's a form of a panic attack, I would assume.
Where I like hit myself.
Well, that is, yeah. I mean, you should probably have a panic room for your own fists. But no, but like when you pick your leg and stuff, that's a form of panic, I think, and it's coming out in that way.
But I don't. But I know that I can trace immediately to what I'm stressed out about.
Yeah, that's
and I know what I'm doing. Whereas I think some people describe panic attacks as like, on Ted Lasso, for instance, like he's on the field and he's like involved in the game, and then all of a sudden his first sign of it is his hands going numb. Mm-hmm. Whereas for me, when I go to pick my leg, my first sign is anxiety, and then I go to that to soothe.
Yeah, you have an ability not to go to death, which a lot of people that suffer panic attacks, that's where they first go. So let's say I'm having, chest, like heartburn. I go to heart attack, where you would go.
But does the symptoms start? So the heartburn might be from indigestion, you're saying.
Yes.
And then it will spiral into death
Yes,
and then
yes,
panic attack.
yeah.
And then you're just panicking that you're dying
Yes,
right then.
yes.
Like it's almost like you're drowning.
This is it, yeah. And you can't get out of the pool unless you accept that you're drowning. So it's almost like when you're swimming and they go with the current.
Yes.
Don't fight against it. That's exactly what you should do with a panic attack, which seems
But how do you do that? You just go.
counterintuitive.
How do you go with a panic attack? Let's talk to me about that.
I mean, at first you can't. Like, luckily I have Zoloft. Thank you, Jesus.
He did, yeah, and AstraZeneca.
And AstraZeneca and
Maybe it's Pfizer.
I'm trying. At first you can't do anything. You just have to. The quicker you could accept and get your brain around that this is gonna pass, and that it's just panic, the faster it'll go away. But you want to fight it. Like you want to fight anything. You're like, fight or flight. I'll fight this off. I'll be fine. I'm gonna stay alive.
I've had moments.
Yeah.
Where the most recent one was when I was on that Reddit thread and reading like all the worst things about me that I feared about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so like, I don't know how to describe it. It was like something I've only maybe felt when I've been broken up with, and it just, or like the worst thing imaginable is happening. And it feels like my worst fear. Like it feels like almost like a fantasy, like a bad dream.
But do you feel anything medically or with your body?
It's just like it's just like this, like I don't know how I'm going to have to kill myself.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get over the shame I feel right now. The only way that I will get over it, it's this sadness that like the thing that I fear more than anything in the world is happening. And all the things I do to, for me in that moment, it was like everything I do to say, that's not, Nikki, you're delusional if you think that people think you're not talented or that you're not, or that you're obnoxious and you're dumb and you're not talented and that you're lazy and all these things. When it finally was like in front of me in many posts of people that seemed eloquent and like used to be fans and then they are abandoning me, it felt like it's this nightmare is happening and I cannot believe it. Felt like there's nothing I can do to soothe this. There's nothing except suicide. And there's just a feeling of like, I have to do it. Fuck, I'm going to have to kill myself because there's nothing anyone could say that will ever make me feel better about what I just read. Ever. I've seen it now. And in that moment, it's just like, that's when I grab a scissors. And I'm not saying that so that people go, Nikki's trying to make us feel bad. So don't ever say anything bad about Nikki because she's going to threaten us with self-harm. I'm not saying that. Say what you want about me. It's my job to protect myself and to have coping mechanisms that aren't cutting myself. But there's just something about it that's like, that's the only time I've felt like truly like, I'm going to explode. Like I'm just going to like, and I just I want to just, I want to just implode.
Yeah, it's interesting that what we're afraid of, death, right?
Yeah.
Can lead you to wanting death to get out of it already. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what you did, but I'm saying like it's just an interesting thing. Like,
well, it's the only escape from being a bad person, and that if people hate you and you're a bad person, and now everyone knows it, and now you have confirmation of it. This thing you've always sneakily thought. But everyone, all the experts you see say, no, that's a symptom of your depression. But then you go, no, actually, it's true. I could print out some pages of evidence that people do think this about me. I'm not alone. I'm not delusional. Then it just becomes a death sentence of like, you shouldn't exist. Like what you're a selfish, bad person. You're not bringing any good to the world. And not killing yourself to go, you hurt me. See how bad you hurt me? You're going to suffer now because you're going to feel bad I killed myself. I have to get rid of myself so I don't do any more harm to the world.
Do you think that it's kind of like, let's say you do have moments of where you're not being your best self, right? Do you think, and then you read that people see the way that you saw, do you feel like sometimes you might, and I think I might do this too, is like, I'll act in a certain way that I assume that either people think I am or what I think I like. It's hard to explain. Like sometimes you could be a bigger dick when people are just okay, I'll be a dick. I am a dick. You know what I mean? Like I want. I don't know what the I don't know what the psychology of that is.
If you're gonna call me it, when I'm trying not to be, then I'll just be.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Sorry, Noah.
Sorry, I was gonna say I used to say that I have panic attacks until I had a therapy session, and I really wanted to talk about it. And my therapist, she's like, "What is a panic attack?" And as I started going, trying to explain it, which is very difficult.
It is hard, yeah.
I think what I realized is that it's like, I think it's a misnomer. I think it's an amalgamation of all of the issues that are unresolved or low self-esteem or I don't have confidence, I don't know how to handle this, and it's just it comes all together into one. And I think that once I stopped giving it any clout by calling it a panic attack and making it something, I was able to kind of just stop going through.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying by that. And the longer you get away from it, the more it doesn't even seem like it could possibly happen to you.
Right, I don't give it a definition. Yeah. I don't allow it to be a thing that happens to me.
You know what's a weird thing with my brain is that what you're saying, when I started not having them or started not having as much anxiety, I was like, I don't know, it made me kind of more interesting to have anxiety. I think there's something to missing that feeling of sadness or being scared or because you kind of feel a little alive in the moment and you feel like there's something maybe a little bit more interesting. You're more of a victim. You have an excuse.
You have a sickness that gets you a little bit of attention or sympathy from people, especially now that we are more
aware of mental health. Yeah.
And we give more sympathy to people. Noah, how did your what you were defining as panic attacks, what did they look like for you?
Mine was, I would just start just having heavy breathing, and when I would close my eyes, I would just see shadows. And the only thing that would help me get out of it is I'd have to go into a small room or under the covers or into a closet. I would sit in a closet, and then it would pass. It's just
Did you feel like you were gonna die? Did you feel like you were gasping for air, drowning kind of thing?
Yeah, it was like that. I didn't have the suicidal thoughts are separate from that. I think that that's more related to when I was going through a bad depression. Yeah. But I think it's just this overwhelming feeling of just the world just kind of closing in on you.
Yeah, I don't think I think what I've experienced is just not a panic attack, but I just. Even just wanting, and then the time last year that I just punched myself so many times, just beat myself up was just that was, I didn't want to kill myself, but that's the thing that I could do that would punish me for being such a bad person. And that's retribution for all the people that hate you. And you're going to keep living with a sheltered life and keep getting money and keep having a show. There's been no punishment. You got to take it out on yourself to make things right. Whoa. I guess.
Yeah.
The other day, I went to one of my music lessons, and I was headed over, and I was just God, you need to fucking do something for someone else. All you do is talk about yourself all day. You have a thing happening where it's just all about you. Every fucking conversation you have is about you. You have people that all your friends are kind of working for you. It's just you, what the fuck? And I was just driving over there, and I'm just God, please let me help someone today. I want to do something totally that is not self-serving, which it ends up being self-serving.
I know, that's so funny.
Because because I was also feeling really depressed and sad, and I was I know the remedy for this is doing something that has nothing to do with me. It's the self-care for me is helping someone else and putting myself out there. And I was just please, but I was going to this thing that I was paying for an hour of this person's time to teach me a musical thing. And I got there, and I was they were like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, oh, I'm good. We hadn't seen each other in a while. And I'm like, I'm good. Just pleasantries. And I just go, how are you? And the person was like, I'm okay. And I was just like, tell me more. And we spent the whole hour that I'm paying for talking about this person's problem.
Yeah.
And I was able to give this person hope in a way that they hadn't felt for so long. I was able to, because the way that they communicated they were feeling sad, I was like, I know that sadness. Like, it's a very specific kind of sadness, same kind of suicidal ideations, same kind of, there's certain types of depression. Like, this person had my type of depression, this very rare form of depression that manifests in this way. And I was like, I know that kind. Is it like this? And I eventually obviously made it about myself, but but that was my way of helping that person.
You were paying.
And we didn't get to anything that we were supposed to do. It was all about getting this person out of that funk and giving them hope. And I called a doctor that I know that helped me. And I was like, this person's going to call you. Make sure here's what I've observed. I know I'm not a professional, but they seem to have all the same characteristics I did. I really recommend the same kind of treatment you prescribed for me. But that's up to you. Obviously, I just want you to assess them. Will you please let me know anything I can do to, if they can't get in with you, can we find someone? Like, I took the time out of my day to and it was just so nice because I asked God, or whatever I believe God is, for a way to help. And it just, who knew me just going, because I thought, oh, this person's not even going to want to tell me about their life. Like, I didn't want to go, listen, can we make this all about you? Because I really need to do some service right now. I didn't have to say that. And this person wasn't like, I'm sorry the lesson was all about you. They were, or all about me. The person was just like, I go, thank you so much for this. And they were like, thank you. And we're like nearly crying, and we hugged, and we're like, I love you. It was just so beautiful. And it was just so nice. It was so nice. And obviously, in the end, very, very self-serving because I walked out of there like, I'm a hero. Yeah. But so what?
But no, dude, those self-serving things are the end justifies the means there. Dude. Like, all day long. Like, anyone that, I make fun of, I'm a big brother and I'm a helping. And it's like, okay, you're doing this so you can put it on your Bumble account.
Yeah.
But it's well worth it. Like, it's...
Yes.
The only thing that I would say is,
I'm not doing that to brag about it. I'm doing it to say,
I don't think you are.
Sometimes it really does help your mood to help other people. And I never thought that would be the case.
But if... My only thing is if you ask someone how they're doing and then they explain and then you go, well, I'd like to help you, then I think it could almost turn to well, now I'm making this about me helping that person.
I didn't say that. I just go, tell me about that.
Yeah.
And I go, wow, I relate.
No. When you went out to the doctor, was she all for that? And she,
yeah, I go, yeah. I have a doctor. Can I recommend?
Yeah.
Them? And she was like, yeah. I mean, I would love that. And I go, I'm going to call him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And leave a message. And then I wrote and didn't do anything over the top and didn't kind of and the way I called the doctor was not you need to prescribe this and this. I was just they seem to have a lot of the characteristics I do. And it just felt, I'm glad now that I know. I wish I would have had that tool earlier on. If you're out there and you're suffering, I swear to God, going and picking up trash on your dog walk will make you feel better.
Yeah, just thinking outside yourself.
And it's not even about now I get to say I picked up trash and look at everyone's going to think I'm such a good person. It just feels good to do something that isn't for you.
My panic was thinking about myself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about yourself.
It's just a quick thing you can do that isn't journaling, that isn't going to meditate. It's just go.
I wasn't sad about starving kid. It was about me. No, it's think
give
about
$1 to a
yourself.
homeless person.
Yes.
Write a letter to your doorman or the janitor that cleans your building, something that's just nice.
Yeah, Venmo me.
Okay, Venmo Andrew, and he'll spend that money on himself.
But not self-serving.
Next Fanthrax.
Okay, next one comes
I'll get golf clubs, that will.
From Nick.
Why do I like to close my eyes?
Nikki, Andrew, Noah, this is Nick in Northern California. Ooh. Huge fan of the podcast. Nick. Been listening since episode 1. Actually, I've been listening since before episode 1. You Up with Nikki Glaser got me through season 1 of COVID, spring 2020. But you guys are crushing it. I just wanted to tell you, you're doing a great job. Listen, I'm an Uber driver, and the best part of my morning is that in between passengers, I get to listen to the Nikki Glaser podcast. As soon as somebody gets out of my car, I switch it over, I crank it up, And then, of course, when somebody else gets back in, I have to turn it off because usually the conversation is about penises and buttholes and vaginas. You guys know how it goes.
We do.
But you make my mornings, so thank you so much. I also wanted to point out that I was listening to an older episode, the one where Andrew's friend Seth Glassman comes on, and I thought it was hilarious that at least twice he said that he was an intricate part of the penis pump story, and I think he meant integral part. And I thought it was classic that just like Andrew's best friend has a tendency to misuse words just like Andrew does. I mean, you can't make that up. It's amazing. Listen, you guys, keep it funky, all right? You're doing a great job.
What the fuck?
Don't change a thing. It's
Can
all
you call us
working.
every morning?
So just keep it up. And Jack Nicholson.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Dude.
Yeah. I mean, that guy.
I love him.
That guy is. I wish he just
He has
was
an
in
Uber
my brain all the time.
He has Uber driver voice.
Yeah.
Like fun Uber driver voice.
Like,
Do you know what I mean?
Welcome
Like,
to Northern. Yeah,
where
you like San Francisco?
Hey guys, how you doing? Where you coming from? Like he has. I'm excited that this is my Uber driver. I actually want to engage in this conversation. This guy is positive, fun. He is. I want to be friends with him.
He's kind of like Seth in a way, my buddy Seth. Like how he talks. He sounds like he's almost from New York.
You know who he sounded like? Our friend who, he didn't sound like him, but the way his intonation sounded like Brad, the one guy that talks like this.
Hey, Nikki, Andrew, Noah.
Oh my God.
How you doing?
I'm like
What's going on?
What was his name?
Nick.
I'm like attracted to Nick via his voice.
Get it
I
on.
feel like there's something to be said about, what if there was an app just about voices?
Well,
I'm really into your voice, Nick. Very into it. And maybe that's why you like me. Maybe we have similar.
And I'm into his positivity. Like everything about him screams like good guy.
Yeah,
like,
Nick,
has
we want to know
charisma.
more. So much charisma. Yes, he does. He's an intricate part of this Fanthrax episode too.
Integral. How do you not know that?
Intricate part. I can't believe I didn't catch that. I feel like maybe I was trying to be polite because he was a guest, or maybe I didn't notice.
I definitely didn't.
But I'm glad he did.
I didn't even notice when Nick said it. Even after he told us why. Sometimes I'll look up words and I'll be like, I'm more confused by the definition.
God, you know what? I was watching a Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly. Have you been shown that on YouTube?
I haven't seen that video yet, but you sent me.
Yeah, like I showed you a clip of it. But
I Am Weed, that one?
Oh, yeah, the I Am Weed thing. But he goes, I was watching the whole thing, and she was like, she used a great word. What was it? Oh, no, my friend used obsequious the other day. Obsequious. And I was like, what does that mean? And she was like, because I obviously know that word, know how to spell it, but I don't know exactly what it means. And it's, I forget it already.
You're like subordinate to somebody.
Obsequious. Okay, yeah. I was thinking it was being like, yeah. I can often be obsequious to certain people, and it's not my nature, but that word really hit me. I was like, I am obsequious in so many circumstances. And then, but the word that she used some word that I go, oh, is she even using it right? And boy, was she ever. It was a perfect word. Like sometimes people with big words.
Excited. What is it?
She's so smart. Because I was listening to the Courtney show, which is my favorite morning show in St. Louis. And Courtney was talking about watching that video. And she goes, I got to say, Megan Fox is really smart. And I knew she was smart. And then Machine Gun Kelly even says, like, you know, one of the questions was like, what do people think, like, what's something that someone would be surprised to know about me? What's a secret talent? And he's like, that you're smart as fuck. Your IQ is probably just so insane, and you read all the time. And I was just, again, jealous of Megan Fox for another thing.
Yeah.
She's really smart.
She's from my hometown.
Really?
Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Oh, cool.
Wait, what was the word that she, was it
it wasn't that. It was something to do with she's like, you know, a word that means like beating around the bush. You're being obtuse, vague. Will you look up other words that mean like
Sounds
synonyms
like what
for vague?
Brian Austin Green would do.
Let me look up vague.
He'd beat around the bush instead of.
No, she definitely unclear, uncertain, unfocused, imprecise. I want more vague synonyms. It was such a good word. Nebulous.
Oh.
Nebulous.
I think nebulous.
She goes, "You're being
clout."
She goes, "Well, that was a nebulous response," and I was like, "I think she used that wrong, even though I don't know what it is." And I looked it up, and I go, "No, it was fucking perfect."
But do you think she
Just
has
like her
like
lips and
maybe 30 words that she goes to to sound smart?
I don't think she's one of those people because it was it wasn't her trying to use nebulous. It just nebulous
flowed
was a
out.
better use than saying vague or the other words that are on this list that I just looked up. All right, let's get to the last Fanthrax.
Okay, let's do. Let's end the show with this one. It's an advice question.
No.
Also anonymous.
Oh, again?
Hey guys, I have a quick question for Nikki and Noah. I just got a
Ouch.
kitten, and I'm wondering, when you guys have sex with your partners, do you kick your pets out of the room? Or do you let them like hang out in the room? Because my kitten will like scratch at the door and meow. And I'm trying to navigate if it's weird to keep her in the room or like if I should just keep her locked out. And so I'm just curious what you guys have been doing.
Yeah.
I would love the advice. Thanks, guys. Love the pod.
Thank you so much for this question. What a great question. Noah, I'll start with you because you do have a new kitten as well. What Buzzy must hear, maybe that Buzzy gets threatened by other things that are making buzzing noises.
Buzzy just got educated, had like a sex education class a couple of days ago. So
where was Buzzy and did Buzzy try to get involved?
Did Buzzy learn how to divide and multiply?
No, he was just sitting at the window.
Divide with your nose.
Divide with...
Oh, he was just sitting at, she was just, he was just sitting at the window, didn't try to get involved. Did you ever lock eyes with Buzzy or were you aware that Buzzy was in the room?
He did make us laugh at one point, but that only makes the sex better when you're laughing.
Yes.
I
What about
like
you?
A cat could look at you.
Did he go like this as Avi's balls?
Yeah, play with them. Like,
How did it?
I just find that it's so like what the listener was saying. When they're pawing at the door or making any kind of sounds or like crying, it just
so much
takes
more
me out of it.
distracting.
I don't like it. So distracting.
Yes. And then you start getting torn up whenever you hear them scratching at anything. It's Pavlov's dogs for your
dog.
Like I used to always keep the dogs out of the room and they would go scratch at the door. Marianne would go
Yeah.
and then when I would hear that sound, it would trigger me my pussy salivating because I would always associate it with me having sex. It was weird. One time I heard it and I was like, well, not now. Marianne's at my parents.
Come.
Gross, Andrew.
Andrew.
Sorry. It was fun. It was funny.
But I will say, with dogs, with Luigi, he's in the room and he's on his bed, and sometimes like when we go to the floor or something and we're near him, he'll just want to get involved in stuff. But it's just like, no, you go to your bed and like, I think that they're not going to be traumatized. I think it's okay. We watch them hump each other and we're not traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
They can handle, they're used to seeing each other. It's not a private thing that they do. And so I think it's okay.
Cats also, even if I feel like cats, they look at you, but they never feel that involved like with you. So it doesn't feel like they're as intrusive as a dog would probably lick your foot and be like,
yes.
like really in there. I had
If
a
you
dog.
say lick my pussy though, watch out where they head towards. To a guy.
If you, yeah.
Lick my pussy and he just runs across the room and starts laughing at your cat.
I think that you can overdo it though. I'm sure there's some people that like pet their dog while they're fucking, and it's just like,
Yeah, no.
Well,
there's
that's
a line
weird.
probably.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It is weird though. Like the one time, and I've told this before, I was on a couch and like doing doggy, and like Luigi licked my face in the front, and it felt like a gangbang.
Yeah.
Like of like a guy kissing you while you're getting a guy from behind. And I was just like, duh. There was something about it that was like a little, like I'm not gonna like, I wasn't like letting him do it.
Yeah, too much.
But there was a moment where I was just like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
It's too much doggy.
Yeah, and then Marion was eating Luigi's ass. It was all like a whole thing. That once you
and Buzzy was watching from a windowsill. That little cuck freak.
Thank you for your advice questions. That's fun. That's a thing that we would love to help you with your life. Thank you so much for listening to this very special episode of Fanthrax. We will be back tomorrow with a fresh episode Tuesday in St. Louis. And you, as always, you can catch our podcast on YouTube. We have video now, so go subscribe there through the link in our bio in our podcast. And don't be cuh and
Jack in the box.